Hello, it's Geeks Assembled time, and this week, as Susan's waving like that, I'm joined by Susan and Alex from across the pond in the old US of A, and I'm all by myself in the old country of the UK. Um, this week, we're discussing a movie from 2014, I think it is, at the start of a film franchise. What so far has produced three films, but we're going to be talking about the original and the first. Yes, Kingsman, the Secret Service. Um, and it's what it says on the tin. It's a Secret Service against a diabolical villain who wants to rule or destroy the world. Really, um, starring Colin Firth, Taron Egerton. It was Edgerton, and and of course Sir Michael Caine. Can't forget Sir Michael Caine. So we'll go over to Susan and Alex for their opening thoughts on this movie. Over to you two.
Yeah, I mean, it is better that there's, something new. I was getting tired of Bourne getting all the credit. And I know they're slightly different because I've read some of the stuff. I don't know if there's a Kingsman novelization, but of course, there's also the difference between, Sidney Riley and James Bond. Sidney Riley being the realistic spy. Of course, there's a different timeline. I don't know if you saw the third movie, which I guess was supposed to be in the 1600s or 1200s or whatever it was, which I could barely tolerate. Um, so I don't remember that third movie too well. I guess Argyle was another version, but that was same director, but that was a woman. There's a lot more women in that story. And I guess they're thinking about making a fourth one called Blue Bloods.
Mhm.
But again,
I've heard that.
I don't know if it's really up to date or if it's sort of just another, universe of making fun of it. I do like the first one and the second one. The third one I didn't like. I don't know about this fourth one. And I'm trying to remember. Well, we already reviewed Austin Powers, so I guess that's sort of. But that was what 25, 30 years ago, where they were making fun of
Well,
spies.
well, this is about 21 years
Yeah,
old
20.
now.
Yeah, so that's the other. And then people talking about what's his name, Galahad, that they can't even say young Galahad versus old Galahad, or Harry with the manners maketh the man. That's
I
like
love that quote.
people
That's a
don't,
really
you
good
know,
one.
people don't quite understand it. And then the second movie talking more about addiction and more about what people do for supposed fun and all that, and the interesting, well, half interesting female character who was played by Julianne Moore, which we forget was also the star of Boogie Nights, which is
Right.
going back a bit into another, habit in another industry,
But but
which is kind of weird that I don't know
but
if
the
she realized that's a similar
but the first one
universe.
was talking about power,
Right.
and the second one is talking about the sort of
Drugs. Yeah.
the sort of control of substance.
Well, yeah. But the
But
other.
but
Yeah.
this one, it starts off with like that guy who was in the Titanic movie, or no, I'm sorry, not him. The one who was in the Pirates of the Caribbean movie, uh, Jack Davenport, and
Yeah.
he was like the one of power, the guy with all the cool gadgets in the very opening scene, but he died so soon.
Well, I mean, again, though, that's another thing too of the weird the weird interconnections in a way that Michael Caine was also in two spy genres. Then Samuel Jackson's in Pulp Fiction,
Yeah,
which actually would blend more in with the second movie with Julianne Moore.
but
You know.
but he was a really decent bad guy in this one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the list was a little overdone, but I mean, again, it also has to tread that line between, is it a James Bond parody? Is it an Austin Powers parody? Is it a
Well,
yeah?
the lisp. He based the lisp on his experience of his stutter in his younger days.
Oh,
He used to stutter when he was young, so he sort of make a bit of character. He'd give the character a lisp.
But,
oh,
yeah, and then of course they don't really talk about it, but I mean, if you think about it, it's just as bad that in the first movie everybody's addicted to internet and cell phone, which in a way,
that's
pre
a,
predates social media, and then he uses it to, pull everybody in.
Mm.
So even if he had any good intentions about the global warming, of course the solution isn't have everybody kill everybody else.
well, that was
Save the
evil
planet.
Luke Skywalker's plan.
Well, it's also very Twilight Zone. I mean, you can't expect to say, okay, now we're going to use the computer or the signal from the phone to turn you into a killer. And then it's like, okay, well, now the Kingsmen aren't technically needed because that's their job. You know what I mean? But if everybody's turning into a killer, then they're not really needed. And the solution isn't kill everybody in the world is safe. The solution is change your mentality and your habits, because by that rationale that Samuel Jackson character is using, you could just reinfect everybody with COVID every 5 years, and you could save the planet that way.
Yeah, true.
Right? Because that was one of the things that they noticed in the COVID pandemic was gas went down because nobody was traveling anywhere. And there was more nature because there was less people about. Everybody had to hover in place.
Yeah.
But again, that's not the solution to make everybody sick or make everybody kill each other. It's not then what?
Yeah.
What if that's almost like an old Batman episode again from the Penguin from the 1960s. He actually had four plans that were very similar to the Kingsmen. One of them was run for mayor, stop the count of the election, and win. Another plan the Penguin had in the 1960s was, in the TV show, was infect all the money so that he would be the richest man in the world, except who's going to accept infected money? You will
Hasn't
be the rich,
hasn't
but you
been
can't
done
spend.
hasn't those two things been done in real life?
No, but
I
I'm
don't
saying,
know.
no, but I'm saying
Well,
that,
your president elect now. I'm sure he's done all that.
well, I'm sure he'd love to, but. Oh, wait a minute, though. Lee, don't you mean Musk? You mean Musk, not the other guy.
Separate them. Just separate them. You just can't separate them now.
Yeah. No, but
Yeah,
but
they are sort of
yeah,
like,
but
this
even
is my work one.
right, but I mean, even in the Batman TV show, they admit it. If you can't spend the money or you can't give the money to anybody else, money isn't really worth it, right?
Right.
So that's the same thing happened with Catwoman. She was trying to get she was trying to get diamonds, but they were cursed with bad luck. So even though she got them, when she tried to sell them, nobody would take them because they were cursed. So again, even the director admitted that the tender line that you had to tread of somewhat being realistic, but not too far off that people would say, "Oh, this isn't going to work at all.
Yeah.
We're just going through an exercise of, how
But
unreal it's going to get." Yeah, but
what you got to realize though,
And
it's just it's a parody of genre
right,
um, of the Bond of the Avengers, the UK Avengers
right.
style of filmmaking of storytelling. Um, you've got the suited um, spies with the umbrellas and stuff like that. Um, and he's like training up Eggsy, is it Eggsy? Yeah, Eggsy to be the new Lancelot.
Mm.
Um, when you've got two stories in this movie happening at the same time, you've got the training and you've got the events of the Samuel Jackson storyline, and then all by the time that they all come together, by the end of it. So
Yeah, but unfortunately, as we know, Lee, I mean, how many people actually know the Avengers from the 1960s or the new
quite a lot,
Avengers?
quite a lot. They've got a cult following.
yeah,
What, in America?
Yeah,
I mean, now perhaps, and Amazon did buy them, so you can watch them there. But no, many people don't know the Avengers because that's considered either the a James Bond ripoff or not that it matters to me because I like
it's
them.
it's
the Avengers was before James Bond.
Right. And then what about the 70s version? Did you like the 70s version?
Yeah, same program to me.
Yeah. Now they had then people would laugh sometimes if I brought it up. They'd say, "Oh, didn't they do a terrible version of the Cybermen or a Cybermen imitation?"
cybernauts.
Yeah.
But that was their style.
Well, yeah,
And then
because
they were talking about the robots.
Also, as well, I believe that the Cybernauts was before the Cybermen.
Yeah.
mm,
And then
maybe.
there was all, yeah.
Uh, no, because they did have the same writer, so it actually is from the Doctor Who universe.
Well, yeah, it's true.
But
Um,
yeah, but what I'm saying is then it becomes harder because obviously you have to have something to rip off, or you have to have something that you're imitating, just
But
like
you
they
don't, you don't, you can have a whole bunch of different kinds of stories told
right,
in
and
the
then
same genre.
right,
And
and
the
then
spy and the
and then
secret agent is,
but what you've got to realise is everything has been done before. So it doesn't matter if you're watching something and you think, oh, that's been sort of similarly done in a previous movie or whatever. As long as the movie's enjoyable and you get a kick out of watching it, and I can't fault it. You steal from the best.
yeah.
That's
but
right. Isn't it?
and then of course we have the offshoots in America of the $6 Million Man, the Bionic Woman, and then in the 90s it was Jake 2.0, where the $6 Million Man did come back 3 times in that TV show.
Or Henry Danger.
Yeah, it's a terrible version, but yeah. But the $6 Million Man, Lee Majors, did come back for the 20 something Jake 2.0. So, they did connect the two universes. So, and I think in those they also had Bigfoot and,
Okay.
some sort of robotic character or whatever.
Yeah, but we're digressing now.
Yep, we did.
Yep. Okay.
So let me ask you this. So even though I like the first two movies and it looks
Okay.
like they're gonna make a fourth,
Uh-huh.
did you like the third one?
It was watchable. It was watchable. You know, they always, what you've got to realize is when you're making movies and they start to make trilogies or whatever, as the movies go along, they become a little bit weaker in storyline and plot. Um, but it was watchable. You
And did
know,
you did you see Argyle? Did you see that one?
seen that. Yeah, I've seen that as well. Yeah,
I mean, I didn't like it as much. I appreciate that they wanted to come at it a little differently, but
But I like for this. I like the whole feel of the British feel of it.
I liked how they trained the secret agents. Like there was actual jeopardy involved in their training.
Mm.
That was fun,
Yeah, the fooled them, but they didn't tell them that.
right?
I mean, some of the tests they were doing was
And then
quite
that final one where they have to shoot their dog. Oh my god!
well. Well, you had to think, why have they given him a dog? There must be a reason for having a dog.
Right? Okay.
And there you are. Then shoot the dog.
no. No, but isn't it true that, in any spy universe, even the well, no, technically it's not the same. The what's his name? The John Wick character. No, technically he's not a spy; he's an assassin.
But they killed his dog too.
Right, but the point is, that guy killed John Wick's dog because he thought he could just get away with it and he was entitled. So
Mm.
that's a little bit more of the revenge, which and a lot of movies and a lot of
But that's
genres
where
have used the revenge.
that's where it starts.
Right.
It starts with like killing.
Yeah, and of course, Halle Berry was in Die Another Day, and Halle Berry was in John Wick,
But
and
Halle Berry
was
wasn't.
in Kingsman as well.
But this is the King. This is Kingsman. It's a totally different movie.
This is
Um,
this is the one with
No, but she was in
Sophia
the second.
Botella.
Yeah, she was in the second one though.
the Gazelle woman.
Yeah, Halle Berry was in the second Kingsman.
Yeah, I like I like the way that they filmed her with her prosthetic legs.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was good. That was a good character.
Yeah,
And what shall we do? I know what. She can be a killer and use her blades.
Yeah, I know. And then of course you have Mark Hamill, another
Well,
crossing of the
I've got,
universe.
I've got to ask you about this. Do you think he was a bit wasted in this movie?
Yeah, I think he was. I think he was.
He turned up and didn't really do much.
Wow. I mean, again, though, that's the other, because Elton John was in the second one and he played more.
Yeah. Mm.
But yeah. So even though technically they're not exactly the same thing, and even though technically we're only supposed to talk about one movie, the issue is with all these movies they start to blend together. Plus, most of them are made into sequels. They're not just one-offs.
Hmm.
Like somebody.
and I really like how they use Sky News as like the the background storytelling
Yeah.
because they needed to tell the story from a British perspective, and they use Sky News, and I don't know if those are real Sky News people.
But I liked the way that they're mixed common troubles on the streets of the youngsters, going down to the pub and having a fight and all like that, and domestic abuse with his mother and her boyfriend.
Yeah,
The high tech villainy of global dominance of the other side of the movie. You know,
yeah,
that sort of mix those two. And
yeah,
for me, it worked.
yeah. And I liked how young Eggsy or older Eggsy took revenge on his mom's abuser. That was great.
He was also a lucky guy with that princess.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, now
Oh, if you save the world, you get butt sex.
Yeah,
the now
I'll be
now
back.
that's the other thing though, Lee. Now you may say that it's far afield, but isn't it true that as it goes on, even with pop culture, about because wasn't that big in the '80s and the '90s, the British gangsters? even though Bob Hoskins was the old-fashioned. Yeah,
Um, you can say, well, it's not just British gangster stuff. You've got gangster stuff in America. You got gangster stuff over here. It's still quite popular.
yeah. So unfortunately or fortunately, because I know I bumped into some people that went, well, it's not a bad idea, but it's stealing from the British gangster.
Oh, are you talking
universe.
about like the guys? who
Lock
were-
and stock and lock, stock and smoking barrels and all that.
Are you talking about the friends of Eggsy?
Well, a little bit. But what I'm saying is people forget that there's so few films that are original, stay in the same genre, don't rip off anybody, don't steal from anybody. Just like I was reading on Facebook that somebody had gone to the Back to the Future director and said, "Oh, make a fourth Back to the Future," and he's like, "No, why? What do we need that for? We did not three
Well,
movies,
you
fine.
you
Why
you
do we need
mentioned
more?"
Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking
Yeah.
Barrels, and
Yeah.
the
Well, because
director,
of the style,
the
the
director,
camera
Mm.
angles.
yeah, the director has done that one.
Yeah.
He did Harry Brown. He
Well,
did
Michael Caine. Yeah.
Kick Ass.
Yeah,
He's
Kick-Ass,
done
there's
so
another
many
one
of
right there.
the good
Yeah.
stuff. He did Rocket Man.
Yeah.
Right, so there you go. So we see how the blending between the gangster and
Well,
the,
it's
and
just because it's like his style.
yeah.
It's the director's.
Yeah, I mean, you get certain directors what just stick to a style. Look at Hitchcock or
Yeah, exactly.
the other one, David Lynch.
Wow.
Yeah.
They
I mean,
they had that style and they stuck to it.
there are a couple of movies of Hitchcock's that I'm not automatically familiar with. I would find it a little hard to try to imagine Hitchcock doing a version of the Kingsman, though.
But he did.
I mean, it would be totally different, but it wouldn't be the
But
same
he
either.
did that movie that we saw that was a
Yeah.
little uncomfortable, Tetris.
Tetris?
The one about the Russian and the guy. You
I don't
remember?
remember that one. No, but I know like some. I actually bought some in the video in my video collection. Like Topaz from Hitchcock is different. Not
Yeah.
only because there's one black character, actual black character in the movie, but apparently he does more camera tricks. So you're not totally stuck in the old, when he, and it's no offense, but finally update it, not just stay in the 1940s style that Hitchcock was. He did like what 40 movies where he was stuck in the 1940s until he went to, Marnie and the Birds, where he was doing more flashy. He's doing more flashy, quick things. You know what I mean? Where all the other movies before, they're good movies, but they're slow and they're not as flashy. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. But the Matthew Vaughn is. I mean, he uses bright colors and lots of flash and lots of energy throughout the screen.
Yeah.
He's quite good with like.
I mean, you've got to look at the choreography of the fight scenes.
Yeah.
You know, Colin Firth. I was watching it closely, and I'm thinking, I can't see a stuntman there. That did look like Colin Firth doing all that action.
It looked like Taron Egerton too.
Yeah, yeah, but great, sequences.
Yeah.
I
Amazing.
mean, spoilers, but especially when, I mean, that was so colourful with all the heads exploding.
Yeah. And they were so. That's what I mean. Like he uses
Yeah.
so much color, and the heads exploding looked like something out of.
To the music as well.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And there were the right heads to explode. There were the oh my gosh, it was so beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, it was. I enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the sequels. But they usually say the first one is sort of the best in any film trilogies or whatever.
Well, I mean,
You
yeah, I mean,
usually
I mean,
Um,
you have the second and the third ones that can be good, like the Star Wars one, the Godfather one,
yeah,
people like the Indiana Jones one, Back to the Future, like we mentioned. Of course, the first one is always good because it's new to you, unless
yeah.
you know who's writing the
And
movie.
this
Unless you know
one was
who's writing
really,
the movie, it's a new.
even though I'd seen a lot of Matthew Vaughn's work, this one really was something different, and the fact that Michael Caine was used as an anchor point in it, I thought that was so great because he was, he was he's so aristocratic in this.
Michael Caine, aristocratic. That's Michael Caine is as common as muck.
Yeah, no, he's not aristocratic. The
No, they actually give him
Yeah,
a a style that is
but he lost his
species.
he lost his charisma on the death scene because then all the filth and the vulgarity came spouting out of his mouth.
I know,
right,
it's true.
right,
It's
yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, right. So that's right. Like I bumped into British people going, the only problem wrong with Posh is wait till the shit comes out. It looks good, and when it comes out, then it comes out. No, just like yeah, I mean, they were using it because obviously, he's getting older. He's not a young guy like he was in the '60s and the '70s and the '80s.
Well, yeah, I mean,
So
in his recent films of the past sort of 5 to 8 years, most of his films he's been sat down.
right, yeah,
He's
yeah, he
his
probably
leg
can't
his
run
legs aren't
anymore.
what they used to be.
Yeah, he can't run
Um,
anymore because even in the Jaws one, people were saying that he was, just like Roger Moore, and Roger Moore's another one that did a spy. It's not just James Bond. He also was the Saint as well, just like Vincent Price was the Saint on
Yeah, but
on the radio. He was the
okay,
Saint.
but I mean the Michael Caine may have had, the down on your luck kind of accent sometimes, but
Oh yeah,
in
the
this one,
Italian job, the Italian job.
the Italian job.
So
yeah.
no, but the funny thing is, and then I started thinking about Sharknado. I said, wait a minute, Michael Caine did it first. It was called Jaws 4. The
I think also as well with this, Colin Firth, Taron Egerton, and Samuel L. Jackson did this movie because
yeah,
they knew there'd never be in a Bond movie.
right, right. Well,
Yeah,
what
I
about
know,
what
I
was
know
the
Samuel L. Jackson has stated he took the job because he always wanted to be a Bond villain and he knew he'd never be in a Bond movie. So he
right?
said, this is the next best thing.
Yeah, all right.
And as for Colin Firth and Taron Egerton,
Mhm.
this could have been their audition for Bond,
Yeah,
but I can't see them doing it.
I can't. Yeah, I can't see the producers picking them. And then of course the other what was the other thing? Then the other weird connection of Colin Firth and other people being in the Bridget Jones Diary, and now there's going to be a fourth movie coming out next week in America, I guess.
Oh yeah, it's out now here.
Yeah, so I mean, all these weird interconnections. I mean, technically,
But Bridget Jones isn't
and there's another one right there because right, she's American, she's not English,
okay, but
right? So
Renee isn't.
yeah, so
But
Susan,
the
Susan,
character is.
Susan, Alex is seeing connections where there isn't any.
yes, sir.
I know.
But anyway, all right. So let me ask you a question because I did a little research on it. Now, do you buy Renee Zellweger as an English woman? Do you think she did a good enough job that she can pass as an English, or do you think that the public liked it, or she has enough fans for the movies, which I think there's four of them, because
Yeah,
remember there's that old right? There's that old chestnut that Americans can't speak English well enough to do an English accent.
there's only
Yeah,
certain few Americans what can do English accents. Not a lot of American. The Brits can do American accents really well, but American actors sometimes struggle.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking of Keanu Reeves for a start. Uh,
He's
and
a
Dick
good
Van
guy,
Dyke.
but he can't. Yeah, he's a good guy in real life, but he cannot do a British accent.
But there's only certain few American actors what really do get it spot on. And I think Renée Zellweger has. I mean, she's had the years to really grasp it now. And there's was it Johnny Depp's really good at it. He can really get a British accent. There's quite there's a few, but not many. So
The cool thing about this is that the the baddies were Americans and the good guys are the Brits. And that is like the flip side of the whole of the
yeah,
being always the British being the bad guy and the Americans always being the good guy.
makes a change, doesn't it?
It does make a change. It's like it's turning that trope on its head.
Well, no, wait a minute though, because
Don't you think? I think
because
so.
what was it? Michael Caine was Austin's father and Doctor Evil's father in the
Okay, but this is
the series. But
this is the response of this is like the Kingsman the I mean at least in this first iteration of the Kingsman there are no good Americans. There were only bad guy Americans, and
Yeah.
there are no bad guy Brits. There are only good guy
Well,
Brits.
well, Michael Caine.
yeah.
But that
Michael,
was because he got the like implant. But anyway,
yeah, that's true.
No, but I mean, again, in the second one, there was a lot more, you know.
okay, but we're not talking about the second one. So I'm saying that this particular movie turns the whole thing, that whole trope on its head, and it won't let it up. It's got it under its knuckles. So
Well,
Well,
tell you, well, you got you've got. We haven't mentioned him, but Mark Strong, who plays Merlin in this,
Mark Strong is so amazing.
he's such an amazing actor. He's been in hundreds of movies what we've reviewed and we've watched. He's always been a supporting actor, but he gives 100% into any role he does. Be it movies like this, or Marvel movies, or DC movies, because he's been in both. Um, I think he played Sinestro in Green Lantern. He played Doctor something in Shazam.
Shazam.
Yeah, he's been in quite a few. Um, and he's always been a supporting actor, but he said he's always amazing to watch.
Yeah, he's the Emperor in Dune Prophecy, which we just reviewed.
Yeah. Is that as well? Yeah.
So
he was apparently one of the Vox Machina actors too. So that's
Oh,
cool.
right.
well,
Cool.
I mean, in
the Penguin.
yeah, I mean, in the
He
second
was
one,
Falcone.
yeah, the second one, he plays a bigger role, but
Yeah, he's done so many different things. He has
And also for Taron Egerton as well, for being a youngish actor these days, he's done a hell of a lot.
so now Tenet was Tenet a spy movie, or that was a different thing. Well, that had more time travel with it.
Tenet, that Christopher Nolan movie.
Yeah.
That waste of 2 hours and whatever. Oh God, that one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
But it did have a lot of British actors in it, though.
Yeah, it may have done, but that couldn't save it.
No, not all the time.
Gee.
That means it's really bad when the British actors can't save it.
It was awful. I think it was one of the lowest scores I ever give a
About
movie.
yeah, but what about now? Let me ask you a question though. Now I know that we're going. Well, we're kind of off topic, kind of not off topic. It wasn't it in what is it? What is it? One Day to Die or whatever the last James Bond one where they had a lot of actually ethnic characters because that's been the other criticism of the British movies and British spy movies is that it's too white savior, too colonist. Um, and then I guess in the David Craig ones, the villains have been more,
Daniel Craig.
yeah, more ethnically, accurate. More, you have Malik, what's his name? Even though he wasn't the Queen biopic, but I forgot his last name. And then you had Anna de Armas, who was also in Knives Out, which is also another David Craig
Daniel Craig.
Vehicle. And then you had the black woman, the African woman, 007, who's also been a lot of British. Because I think isn't she part British?
I think most of them are.
Yeah, but and then of course America's like, oh, how amazing! It's like this is 2024, not 1955.
And we don't over here. We don't even blink. We don't even we don't even blink and say how amazing. We just take it as norm.
Yeah. So you don't right. So that's the other problem of a lot of people said, well, I don't want to watch a spy movie not only because I don't want to get paranoid, but so many of the characters are, colonizing, and it's like, come on, we know in the real world there's all kinds of spies. They're not all the same, you know.
So,
The,
go on.
the the whole idea of spies, um, you know, right now it's pretty important still. The only trouble is like all of our secrets are getting, the American secrets. Like we don't have any secret statesman organization or nothing. We don't got nothing that's protecting our secrets right now. They're just walking out the door with these teenagers, and so like you guys don't even have to try to like do spycraft
Yeah,
over here. All you gotta do
but,
is like connect with Musk and
but America's biggest secrets are quite safe. Are quite safe in a cardboard box in Trump's toilet.
they are in the Trump. Yeah.
Talk about
Nobody will get to them.
talk about your artificial tan.
Yeah, so we really have like all of the secrets are out in
And of
public,
course,
hanging out there, and nobody. I mean, they wrote their playbook ahead of time to Project 2025. So I mean,
well, I mean,
the only people who really need Secret Service people or secret agent people are people like our friend Lee over there and the folks
The Brits,
in Europe and
no, not quite.
the
Well,
Brits do it best.
yeah, and then
I know.
but what about because the thing is, even I thought about it. I said, well, if Musk is a double agent, is he doing a good job or not?
Well, I don't know, but he lent Samuel L. Jackson the use of his satellite in this movie.
Yeah. But then the point of the matter is that the you know he was so South African,
Well, I mean, again, though, the hacking is a little different, and it's been 20 plus years. And there we have again. We just brought up the guy from No Time to Die, and he played a character on TV that was a master, hacker in Mr. Robot.
Okay, sure.
So that's another type of spy or hacker or whatever.
But
I mean,
secrets anymore. We don't need.
I mean, Hollywood, Hollywood.
British people will always have their secret agents, and we will just be able to watch iterations of their
No,
developing.
a lot of people love Jason Bourne. I don't. A lot of people love that series.
Okay,
Uh,
but there's no reason for Bourne anymore. There's no
Oh,
secret.
and there was more than what was that? 3 of them in Bourne?
There's
No,
just,
no, no.
3
There
or
was
4?
more.
you could probably, you and I could probably say we're working for Musk and walk into the
Oh,
FBI
no,
building down
no,
there,
no,
down the street and say, you know, hey, we just belong here.
no, no, no.
Yeah, we could.
no.
They'd give us the secrets.
No, they wouldn't. So anyway,
What?
yeah. So I mean that right. So I mean the only other problem is the ridiculousness of as a couple of people have said, the fact that Americans can't make a good hacker movie because it takes too much actual brains and too much actually remembering
But this one,
what the plot is.
they
You know?
did have a decent hack in this.
Right, no, but again, it's British.
But
That's that's fine. You know,
Oh,
okay.
all right.
No,
So
but you're
anyway.
right, but you know what I'm saying though.
Is there any scenes in this movie what you really liked or really hated?
I liked the flooding the room. I thought that was really interesting where they sucked the air out of the toilet.
I would never do that.
No.
No, 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 no.
Too many gases.
Well, you don't know what you're stuck in through that pipe.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, too many gases.
Oof.
Might be sucking up some liquid plumber.
I'd have drowned anyway because I can't swim.
What else is there? Let me see. I'm trying to think here.
The other scene that was really good was when they're sitting around the table and they put on those eyeglasses and they see each other.
Oh yeah,
The,
there was
the
something on the table.
yeah
That was
the
cool.
The holograms.
the glass created holograms. Those
Yeah.
are fun.
And I started making a joke. I was like, where's Samuel Jackson now? You
Mm.
know, Samuel Jackson as Mace Windu and as the villain.
Oh, that's funny.
Like for me, I did laugh with the where there was Colin Firth and Samuel Jackson sat down for dinner, and it was McDonald's in a
with,
silver.
with wine. Yeah, I don't
Typical American food there.
Yeah, wine with well, I mean, again, just like Trump.
Yeah.
Trump has 3 pictures with all these, you know. And then when he was in the trial in New York, which he lost, everybody forgets that. They spent like what was it? They spent 3 days. They spent like $1,000 on McDonald's.
Yeah.
It's not even good enough. I could understand the 70s, but you want to waste 1,000? They couldn't find any other restaurant of
Yeah.
and then they wonder why people aren't recommending McDonald's these days. Uh, yeah. But a thought had occurred to me saying, this isn't as wild as I once remembered, you know, with all the weird stuff going on with Trumpy and Muskie there, you know.
So if any, shall we go to final sentence score?
Yeah, sure.
What do you?
I really enjoyed this. I like this movie a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I will give this.
Well, you picked it as well.
I will give. Yeah, it's really practically perfect to me. I give this 9.5 blades. Blade runners. Literally Blade runners out of 10. And I will recommend anyone watching this like to find a way to watch this movie. It's just so good, and it's got such I mean it really is the start of something very fun.
Yeah.
And Alex, you?
Well, again, I mean, you know, I'm also trying to draw the lines between the TV spies and the movie spies, and of course there's other, TV shows that are too serious that we can't, mention. I mean, ironically, they do seem to play down the death a little bit. The second movie, they push it up a little bit more with the grinder.
But this
But,
movie, what would you rate it out of 10?
I mean, again, I'm gonna rate it a 9, but I'm also a huge fan, so I'm not a. I didn't like the third one though, but I would have to say that, you know, I mean, again, it could have been 100 times worse too. It could have been worse than Austin Powers.
It is,
But again,
so good.
but well, again, there's supposed to be that fourth one, Blue Bloods. So we'll see how long it takes for him to. And like I said, I didn't like Argyle.
But that was
I like that there was more women in it, and I like that it was not the same characters.
but
at the same point, it didn't feel like the same. I would have liked it if they had actually connected it to the world and said, well, this is the other, organization or an offshoot of it, not the Kingsman of the Statesman, but like the CIA or something. If they had done,
I can see your point. That's a really good. That's a good.
Because the music's the same, the style is the same, the shots are the same.
And because MI6 and MI5, those two are kind of like, that would have made some sense. Good point.
So I would have liked that.
Yeah. So
that better. Now the other thing too is.
What would you? Let's find out what Lee would rate.
Yeah. Now the other thing too is, would you say that?
Let's find out what.
Hang on, I'm asking Lee a question too. Do you think that there will come an issue just like there is with the Marvel movies and the DC movies? Too much in a genre, will they have to update spy movies if they wanted to go on another 10 or 12 years?
I don't know why. Well, it does move with the times, the spy movies. As you say, you've mentioned Jason Bourne movies. They were updated. Mission Impossible, they've been updated from the 1960s. So they move with the times. We don't often get a lot of spy movies released. It's maybe one or two every 3 years or something like that. Not like the Marvel and DC where it was four or five every year. And that's where people got bored of it. Too much is, it's overkill.
Well, there's been a few scandals too. And unfortunately, the guy from the what's his name? God, I can't pronounce his name. The guy from the Black Panther unfortunately died.
Mm-hmm.
Let's find out what Lee rates us.
I enjoyed it. It's the first one of a sort of a new franchise of spy movies. It's all action, good plot, some great backstories, some great acting. So for me, I'm going to give this 10 double cheeseburgers and fries out of 10.
What? No wine?
I'm not a big wine drinker.
Wine with McDonald's.
If I got chicken McNuggets, I might have gone with the wine. White meat, you see, white wine. Anyways, so that is our little review of Kingsman: Secret Service. A great choice, Susan. Thanks for that. So I've only seen this movie once before, so it's nice to sit down and watch it again. You guys out there, if you've seen the movie, please leave a message below on this video because we share it across all social media platforms. Leave a message. Let us know what you thought of the movie. Let us know what you think of us. We can take it, can't we, Susan? Just yes. If you want to join us, leave a message on the video. We'll get you on these casts and in the group and whatever. Just has to be 18 plus because some of the things we talk about are 18 rated, of course. you need a working camera and microphone on any device you use. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to our YouTube channel, please do. Every little helps, and please press the bell notification button on our YouTube channel, and you'll get notified every time we put up a video. Is that it, Sue? I think that's it, isn't it?
That's it.
That is it. Now, I think I'm not going to go off now to polish my lethal umbrella.
Yeah, very, very cool.
So, or I might go and meet that princess.
Yep.
But there again, not my type. So, until next time, be safe, and we'll be seeing